Hey, I'll be breaking down more of your forecast details coming up.
Plus, the Cardinal electors begin their secret conclave to select the next leader of the Catholic Church. We take a look at the voting process coming up.
Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Well, breaking now this morning, we're following reports of a lockdown at Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi. Our sister station WLOX says local law enforcement has left and the gates that are normally open have reopened. We do know one small portion of the base, though, remains on lockdown. Still no word on what caused it, but there was some confusion because the base was scheduled to do a mock lockdown today, but something sparked a real one. Once we learn more, we'll let you know here on Fox 10 News. And with that said, welcome into Fox 10 Midday. I'm Ashlyn Mitchell.
And I'm Jennifer Lambers.
Jen, it's been a rainy, gloomy start to our Wednesday today, and that's really going to be the story over the next few days, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Ashlyn. I know we have entered into this unsettled pattern here on the Gulf Coast, so we're only going to continue to see more of that. So do keep in mind, if you don't have that rain jacket or that umbrella already handy and ready to go in your car, put it there now, especially now that we're starting to see a break in the rain coverage. Taking a look across the southeast, the majority of that rain pushing out of northern Mississippi and Alabama. But here locally, we have just some of those isolated showers. But look back towards New Orleans and just really portions of southern Louisiana there, back into Texas. Very active thunder and lightning really just beginning to ramp up. We did see some of those severe thunderstorm warnings earlier. Now we still just have a flash flood warning closer towards New Orleans. But if you look just off the coastal areas there, approaching closer towards some of the Petty Boy Island area there, just starting to see more of some of the heavy rainfall and some of those showers and those thunderstorms beginning to ramp up. So the coastal spots are really experiencing that in coastal Mississippi. Here locally, just some isolated showers out there. Just starting to see more of that beginning to push along the Florida Panhandle. But Mobile, Baldwin County is just very isolated showers down near Lillian, fully extending closer towards Pelican Point, Weeks Bay, and down into Bayou La Battery in the Coden area. But central portions there, calm and quiet. It's still gray. It's still gloomy. It's still a little soggy out there. Closer towards Santa Rosa and Okaloosa counties, really that's where we're seeing the bulk of this rainfall so far. Fort Walton Beach, Destin, just over towards Milton up into Allentown. Isolated sprinkles closer towards Pensacola. But a live view outside from our Navigator Credit Union camera at the Battleship. The good news, traffic moving smoothly on the Bayway and the Causeway, but it is breezy out there. The camera is shaking. Our sustained constant wind speed closer towards 15 miles per hour. Wind gusts even higher, but those temperatures, now that we're seeing a break in that rain coverage, beginning to warm up, resting in the mid 70s. Now the rain chances as we get further along into the rest of today, we will start to see those rain chances continue to tick back up once we get into the early part of the afternoon, and then we'll start to turn quiet once again heading into this evening, back down to 20%, but unsettled pattern will continue along the Gulf Coast. I'll be talking more about the rain chances over the next few days. That's going to be coming up in just a little bit. Ashlyn.
The Sistine Chapel doors are closed, as you can tell behind me there, as cardinals from 70 countries have gathered at the Vatican to begin a centuries-old ritual to elect the new pope. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more on the voting process.
Sequestered inside the Sistine Chapel, the cardinal electors are now tasked with choosing the 267th leader of the Catholic Church. 133 cardinals filing into the Sistine Chapel, taking one final vote before beginning their secret conclave to elect a successor to Pope Francis. Earlier, they celebrated their final public mass inside St. Peter's Basilica before locking themselves away from the world. They heard a final appeal from the Dean of the College of Cardinals, who urged the electors to find a pope who values unity and sets aside personal interests.
This is a human act for which every personal consideration must be set aside, keeping in mind and heart only the God of Jesus Christ and the good of the Church and of humanity.
The cardinals will take an initial vote today, then starting tomorrow, they can hold up to 4 votes a day, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, until a winner is found. And while many just met one another last week, some experts say they expect this to be a short conclave.
It's normal for the cardinals to come out, put out their first vote, and see where all the other cardinals are. And then tomorrow, they will begin to change their vote in order to coalesce around 1, 2, or 3.
Francis named about 80% of the voting cardinals, and some faithful gathered in St. Peter's Square say they hope the next pontiff follows his legacy.
The world has become a very divided place. I hope we have someone that can come and heal it.
All eyes will now be on the Sistine Chapel's chimney, waiting for the white smoke to indicate a new pope has been elected. In Rome, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Also this morning, more violence in Central Asia has two nuclear-powered rivals on the brink of war. Overnight, India conducted a series of massive airstrikes on Pakistani areas of the disputed Kashmir province, killing more than 24, including at least one child. The Indian government says it was retaliation for an attack last month that left 26 Hindu tourists dead, which it blames on Pakistan. But Pakistan says it had nothing to do with the terror attack and called India's airstrikes an act of war that won't go unanswered.
India exercised its right to respond and preempt as well as deter more such cross-border attacks.
Pakistan will now respond and respond very, very effectively. Make no mistake.
Now, Iran's foreign minister is in Pakistan, hoping to mediate a ceasefire in the coming days. In the meantime, at least 59 people were killed in Israeli strikes across Gaza. The overnight strike hit a school where hundreds of displaced Palestinians were there taking shelter. We're told 27 people were killed in that attack, according to a local hospital. This morning's strike hit another school shelter in Gaza City, killing 16. At least 16 more people were killed from strikes in other areas. Meanwhile, at least 2 people are dead in Ukraine after another Russian missile attack. Russia launched a ballistic missile and a barrage of drones at Ukraine's capital before dawn today. Authorities say at least 1 missile and 28 Russian drones were actually recorded in Kyiv's airspace. 8 people were wounded in that attack. 4 people, including 3 children, were hospitalized. Others received treatment on site. There was no immediate comment from Moscow on the attack, and this comes just a day before Russia's planned 72-hour ceasefire to coincide with celebrations in Moscow marking Victory Day in World War II. The Kremlin says that the truce, ordered on humanitarian grounds, would start on Thursday and last through Saturday. Well, back here in the U.S., heated hearings on anti-Semitism on college campuses lead to the resignation of several high-profile university presidents. Today, a new round of presidents hit Capitol Hill, accused of allowing anti-Semitism to go unchecked at their schools. Fox News correspondent Mike Emanuel has this story from Washington.
College presidents are back on Capitol Hill facing questions and criticism over their handling of anti-Semitism on campus.
The incidents we'll be discussing with our witnesses today are truly appalling and shameful.
Testifying before the House Education Committee, presidents from California Polytech State University, Haverford College, and DePaul University. Haverford College was hit with a lawsuit from a group on campus alleging the college was indifferent when students complained about anti-Semitism. And at DePaul University, a student was allegedly attacked on campus for his support of Israel. He says anti-Semitism continues to be a serious threat on campuses across the country.
Now is the time we finally hold our institutions accountable for festering Jew hatred and anti-Semitism on their college campuses.
The latest hearing comes as Columbia University announced the layoff of 180 staff members after the Trump administration pulled $400 million in federal funding from the campus back in March over their handling of pro-Palestinian protests and anti-Semitism.
Every school that allows this chaos to continue needs to lose all federal funds.
The Trump administration also stopped more than $2 billion in federal research grants to Harvard, pushing for policy changes at the university. Harvard is suing to release those funds. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Chris Burns from Burns Estate Planning and Wealth Advisors is here to talk about working through retirement. But first, Jen, today is a great day to keep that jacket or umbrella handy, right?
That is exactly right, Ashley. And you want to keep it today, plus also for the next few days. But taking a live look outside down on Dauphin Island. Winds are a little breezy out there from the Dauphin Island Sea Lab. And over the next few hours, we will start to introduce more of those scattered thunderstorms heading into this afternoon. Plus, also we'll notice more of those winds beginning to pick up with temperatures maxing on the upper 70s. But I'm going to talk more about your extended forecast coming up when we come back.
Joins me with Burns Estate Planning and Wealth Advisors to talk about working through retirement. So, Chris, it's good to have you back again. I know you're a familiar face here, and we always appreciate your advice.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
All right, well, first things first today, we're seeing more retirees, stepping away from their jobs, taking on a part-time role. Talk about when people should take this role on.
So when you start to say, hey, I'm getting ready for retirement, one of the biggest things that I ask our clients is, okay, now that you're retired, what are you going to do today? And you need to be able to tell us what that is. So some people choose to continue to work in retirement because unfortunately they may need to, but most of the time you do see they're working part-time or contract jobs because they want to stay involved in the community or stay involved with their friends and family and things like that.
We were just talking about that a second ago. That's very true for my grandparents. They're very active and healthy, and they honestly attribute that to the fact that they're still working. But what about those who feel like they have to work, maybe because they didn't save money or they're afraid they're going to run out of it?
What I would recommend to those individuals is to either sit down with their financial advising team or find a financial advising team to help them build out a future income plan, because I think that having a little bit of clarity in how much you should work or what type of income you need to produce will really kind of help you understand what does the next maybe 5 to 10 years look like, and maybe thinking that you couldn't retire, now maybe you can because you've just done some homework to see where it stands.
And that can be stressful, when you've been working your entire life as well. So let's talk a little bit about Social Security then. How does that play into this? So can someone still receive benefits while earning a paycheck?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, well, hey, if I'm working, I'm collecting Social Security, I'm really kind of shooting myself in the foot with from taxes. Well, working with a CPA, and what you see most of the time is that continuing to work, yes, it does increase your taxes, but your take home also goes up too. But one of the big things is that if you're working and the income that you're producing is satisfactory for your income needs, pushing or delaying Social Security several years, maybe not taking it at 62, but maybe looking at 66 or 67 full retirement age, or if you're lucky enough to push it all the way to 70, you're going to increase your earnings when you do start to collect Social Security.
Super helpful information there. Thank you. And finally, for people who might want more guidance in this area, it can be difficult. How can you help?
I think the big thing is, and how we can help is help you develop a plan, because I think education and then having some planning gives you the confidence to help make some of those decisions that you might have been concerned about. Hey, can I really do retire this year, or should I work another couple of years, or should I take Social Security, or should I push it? What does that look like from a tax standpoint? Our team can help with all of those questions. Yeah,
and this topic might apply to an older demographic, but what would you have to say to young people like me who aren't in that season of life yet?
Do it still. I mean, there is no age where you're young enough where you should not have a financial plan, right? Maybe where you are stationed in life now, you're not looking for retirement, but you're looking at how do I grow my assets to get to retirement, right? And then maybe you're 10 years away from retirement, so your hierarchy of needs change. So no matter what your age is, planning and thinking about retirement will definitely affect how you look at investing. And it's a win-win no matter what your age is.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris. And thank you for being here with us this morning. This full interview will be posted on our website, fox10tv.com. And you can learn more about Burns Estate there as well. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Writing calligraphy classes are in session, and we know where to go. Vanessa dips into the details, and she's in Pensacola this morning with more. All right, Vanessa, thank you. I will say I did try calligraphy once. I think I made it to letter C before I gave up, so it definitely takes a lot of patience. But if you have that patience, it is beautiful if you can get the hang of it. Well, new on midday this morning, Breeze Airways making a major announcement. The airline will be offering nonstop flights to Bentonville, Arkansas, and Memphis, Tennessee beginning this fall. The flights to Arkansas will be Thursday and Sunday, and those start at $49 one way. Now, the flights to Memphis are on Monday and Friday, and those begin at $39 one way. The first flight to Bentonville is set for September 4th, and the first flight to Memphis is coming up September 5th. Company has announced plans to debut a new theme park in Abu Dhabi. This will be the House's 7th global resort destination and its first new theme park development announcement in 15 years. Officials say the resort will be about a 20-minute drive from downtown Abu Dhabi, and it will have a theme park and an undetermined number of hotels, but it's not set to open until the 2030s. Well, you now need a real ID. We've been warning you to get on a plane to fly domestically. The requirement is now in effect for Americans to have the specific form of identification marked by a star in the upper right-hand corner. Officials say if you don't have a real ID or another accepted form of ID like a passport, you will still be able to fly domestically. However, a traveler will have to be prepared to go through additional screening. Finally, to help people deal with the stress of getting that real ID, Krispy Kreme is offering one free original glazed donut. No ID or purchase is necessary. And Krispy Kreme says you can grab the treat in the store or at the drive-thru. I think I deserve one of these. I got mine yesterday.
Yay.
Well, finally, St. Michael's girls soccer team, we want to let you all know, won this morning 4-1 over Indian Springs in the 5A state semifinal. So congrats to the Cardinals. That's huge.
Congrats to them, and we will continue to keep you updated on all of the other Gulf Coast teams participating right here on Fox 10. But let's go ahead and talk more about your forecast right now and taking a look at the next 7 days. So we're seeing that lull in activity right now. Our coastal spots are seeing some of those rain showers, but as we get closer towards 3, 4, 5 o'clock, more in that rain coverage and even thunderstorm activity will begin to pick up. So as you're picking up the kids from school, likely going to be a little soggy out there. Over the next few days, the rain chance is possible every single day. Highest chances out of the next few days is going to come into play on Friday, mainly for the afternoon and the evening. We will see breaks in the rain coverage Saturday and Sunday, so just make sure that you're flexible with any of those plans that you have heading closer towards the weekend, or go ahead and have that backup plan in place. We will continue to keep a close eye on that Mother's Day forecast with those temperatures just continuing to be in the upper 70s. We finally break away from this unsettled pattern once we get closer towards Tuesday heading into next week.
All right, Jen, but before we go today, we do have an update to that breaking news we were talking about earlier. The Keesler Air Force Base was put into lockdown around 8 o'clock this morning, but we're told there are no indications of an active shooter or an active threat to the base right now. Of course, we'll have more information on Fox 10 News coming up later, but thank you for watching. We'll see you at 3 o'clock.